Hey, what's up everyone, this is Kay. Guess this will be a new series of Genshin videos where I talk about specific builds I tried and built, how optimal they are, problems I found, and the good things about it, starting with Childe and the 4-piece Wanderer set. So equipping the 4-piece Wanderer means you're committed to a charge attack build. For Childe, his melee charge attack will receive the 35% boost in damage as well. Also, I want to try to keep all the information strictly on Childe without too much team buffs or food. There are a lot of great videos where characters can dish out insane numbers like over 100k damage with his burst, but typically they use team combos like Bennett, Mona, and Barbara, which not everyone can replicate, so I want to keep things focused strictly on Childe and this build, making it easier to replicate or understand. Starting with the stats, you still want to prioritize crit damage and rates. I also use the Viridescent Bow for the crit rate as well. Using the Cyclone effect to suck enemies in also makes it easier to deal AoE damage with his charge attacks. Artifacts is of course the 4-piece Wanderer and 1 random. This works well with Fischl, Xiangling, or allies that can continuously inflict some kind of element on enemies while not on the field. This will take advantage of the elemental mastery boost, but the real bonus is the 35% charge attack boost. So my substats are okay in my opinion. You need artifacts that gives crit rate or damage, better if it's both. I found mine to be realistic because there were many builds I saw on YouTube where I just can't replicate it because they had such good substats, like a 30% crit damage boost on 1 artifact, something like that. That's phenomenal, but I've never been that lucky. But the priorities are the typical crit rate, then crit damage, then attack. With this build, the best way to attack is with 3 normals, then charge attack, jump cancel, or dash cancel afterwards. But dash does waste more stamina, so do be careful. Then rinse and repeat that method. It's a burst playstyle, meaning once Childe is out, go crazy for a short period, then switch out to your other DPS if enemies aren't dead. Don't do the 5 normals then charge attack because you're not only wasting time, but you're also not taking advantage on the charge damage boost. With no team skill buffs or food buffs, I typically get numbers around 3300 and 3700 on crits for his charge, which consists of 2 slashes. Damage is slightly different based on the enemy and their levels. If enemies are on the same level as me, I see sometimes consistent 3900 to 4k damages. Keep in mind, within 8 seconds, you can unleash about 8 charge attacks, maybe more if your cancel is on point, so about 7k damage per charge attack if crits goes through, which adds up really quick. What's great is that some enemies will get stagger locked, being unable to move, like my boss battle with Childe for example. So for his bow charge attack, it gave me a consistent 6k damage on crits, around 5800 on level 90 enemies. The Wanderer set is not the best possible artifacts for Childe, but it's not the worst either. I find it fairly consistent, but there are many issues with it. Yes, bow charge can hit fairly hard, but it takes too much time to charge up and aim. You'll do it occasionally though, when his skills are on cooldown, but his main damage will be from his melee charge. Melee charge attacks also takes up a lot of stamina, putting you in bad positions if you can't dodge enemy attacks. Again, if you are going with this build, it's for burst plays. The Wanderer set doesn't enhance his normals or burst skill, so you are losing significant damage on those. There are many other optimal builds. A 2-piece Nobilis and Gladiator is for me the best current build. That's what I'm using right now. Reasons why a player would use a 4-piece Wanderer set is that it's generally RNG friendly since you accumulate a large amount of these artifacts while playing. If you want, for example, to change up his artifact build, let's say a Nobilis set, you'll have to go out of your way to acquire these, which I do recommend on a side note. But the main problem you'll face when trying to build the most optimal artifact set for Childe is that it can be a high investment to get the right ones. I grinded from AR 45 to almost AR 50, and I only got 1 Hydro Goblet and decent Nobilis drops, only decent in terms of substats. Some people are luckier than me, others may not be. When playtesting different builds, the 4-piece Wanderer set will underperform only by a slight margin compared to a heavily invested artifact set that I use. As an example, as mentioned before, I'm using a 2-piece Gladiator and 2-piece Nobilis, one being a Hydro boost. It's better, but not a huge difference. Numbers are still close, it's not like it's a dramatic difference. I'm not talking about like thousands of damage difference. No, it's maybe a few hundreds. Biggest difference, however, is of course the E-burst damage between the 2 builds, but I grinded like hell to acquire slight improvements. An investment you may not want. The Wanderer set is superior in charge damage but falls short everywhere else, so not the best possible build for Childe, but it is effective for what it does. Fast, high burst damage capable of killing groups of enemies, even bosses, at a relatively fast rate. So a good thing about this build is that it's typically low investment and is very RNG friendly, allowing you to save resources while still having a solid build for Childe, even if it's temporary until you acquire better sets. Keep in mind, substats are everything in Genshin Impact. You personally may have a godly 20% crit substat, but a lot of people may not. The opposite can also be said by E-ranked luck players. Maybe you've been grinding the whole entire time, but you get nothing good. Honestly, it's all RNG at the end of the day, but you do need crit rate substats. That is the most #1 thing you need if you are using this set. But regardless of the RNG substat factor into this game, I think this video is a realistic demonstration of the 4-piece Wanderer set. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, the talent levels are 787 at Constellation 0. Fighting the Childe boss battle will more often than not give you his talent material, so it's not that hard to acquire. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for future Genshin Impact videos. Like I mentioned at the start of the video, this will be a new series of playtesting or demonstration of different builds and different character setups. So look forward to those. I mentioned already that I am testing a 2-piece Gladiator and 2-piece Nobilis on Childe with a Hydro boost damage, so look forward to that as well. And I am building a Nemo Jean build, and I'll make a guide or a review on that set as well. Well everyone, good luck on your summons if you're still summoning for Zhongli, but 1.2 is almost here, so I hope you save your Primal Gens for that.